The spaceship Valkyrie floated in deep space, dark and silent. Its engines were dead, its lights were off. It looked like a metal coffin, slowly moving near the edge of the galaxy. No one had seen this ship for 20 years. It was believed to be destroyed. But now it had sent out a distress signal. The United Earth Command received the signal. It was weak, broken, and filled with static. But one word was clear: help. Captain Reed Carter stood on the bridge of the rescue ship Athena, looking at the strange ship on the screen. "Are we sure this is the Valkyrie?" he asked. Lieutenant Nova James nodded. "Yes, sir. Same ship ID. But it disappeared 2 decades ago. No one ever found the wreck." Reed stared at the floating ghost ship. "And now it calls for help." The Athena moved closer. Its lights shined on the dark surface of the Valkyrie. No sign of damage, no movement, just silence. A small team prepared to board the Valkyrie. Captain Reed, Nova, Medic Theo, and 2 security officers stepped into the docking tunnel. As the airlock opened, a cold, strange smell hit them, like old metal and burned wires. Inside, the Valkyrie was covered in dust. Walls were scratched, doors half open. Lights flickered. There was no power, but something still kept life support working. "Stay close," Reed said. "We search, we get out." As they moved through the empty halls, they found signs of a battle. Laser marks on the walls, bloodstains on the floor, but no bodies. "This place is wrong," Nova whispered. "Something happened here, something bad." In the command room, they found a surprise. One cryopod still active. Inside it was a woman. Pale skin, brown hair, wearing an old Earth military uniform. Reed wiped the frost from the glass. "Check her ID." Nova scanned the pod. "Lieutenant Kara Miles, last log entry, 20 years ago." "Why is she still alive?" Theo asked. "Cryosleep this long should have killed her." Reed looked around. "Wake her up." They started the thawing process. The machine hissed. Lights blinked. Kara's eyes opened suddenly. She gasped and began screaming. "No, don't open it. Don't let it out." Reed held her shoulders. "It's okay, you're safe." Kara shook her head violently. "No one is safe. It's still here. It never left." The team looked at each other, confused and tense. "What's still here?" Nova asked. Kara's eyes filled with fear. "The thing we found. We brought it on board. It got into the crew, into their minds." Suddenly, lights in the room turned red. A loud alarm echoed through the ship. Boom. The ship shook. "What was that?" Reed shouted. Theo checked his scanner. "Motion detected, engineering deck. Something's moving." "But this ship is empty," Nova said. "No," Kara said, standing slowly. "It's not empty. It sleeps. It waits. And now, it's awake." The team looked at her in horror. "You mean someone else is alive?" Reed asked. Kara answered with a cold voice. "Not someone. Something." Before anyone could speak, the control panels turned on. One screen showed camera footage, a dark hallway. Something crawled across the floor, fast, too fast. "Whatever it is, it's not human," Theo said. Kara stepped forward. "Listen to me, I sealed it away before I went into cryosleep. I used the ship's AI to lock it. If it's moving again, that means the AI failed. It's free." Reed asked, "What is it?" Kara took a deep breath. "We don't know what it is. It doesn't speak, it doesn't eat, it copies us, it learns, it waits inside your mind. You start hearing voices, then you see things, and then you're not you anymore." Nova looked shocked. "Like a parasite?" Kara nodded. "Worse. It doesn't need your body, just your fear. It uses it like fuel." Reed turned to his team. "We're leaving, now, but the ship door's locked." "Access denied," said a robotic voice. "Protocol override, Kara Miles." Kara froze. "No, I didn't do that." Lights went out. Darkness. A low sound filled the air, like breathing but heavy and broken. From somewhere deep inside the ship, a voice whispered on the intercom. "You brought them. More minds. More fear. Reed raised his weapon. Everyone, move, back to the airlock. But Kara didn't move. She stood frozen, eyes wide. It's inside the system, she said. It knows we're here, Nova asked. Why did you send the distress signal? I didn't, Kara whispered. It did. The lights on the Valkyrie flickered weakly. Cold air moved through the hallways. The rescue team stayed close together, their weapons ready. Kara Miles sat on the floor near the command console. Her hands were shaking. Her eyes stared into the dark. Captain Reed Carter knelt beside her. We need answers, Kara. What happened to your ship? Kara didn't speak at first. She looked like she was trying to remember something painful, something she didn't want to say. Finally, she spoke. We were on a deep space mission. 20 years ago, the Valkyrie had a crew of 300, soldiers, scientists, engineers. We were searching near a black hole that had strange signals coming from it. Not normal signals, something more. Nova James leaned forward. You mean alien signals? Kara nodded slowly. Yes, the scientists said it was a repeating code. It looked like music, but it didn't come from any planet or ship. It came from the black hole itself. Reed frowned. That's impossible. Nothing comes out of a black hole. I know, Kara said, but something did, and we found it. She closed her eyes. We sent a drone to the edge of the gravity field. The drone brought back an object. It was like a stone, but alive. It had lights inside it, moving, changing. The moment it came aboard, things began to change. Nova asked, what kind of things? First the dreams, Kara said. People started dreaming of strange places, empty cities, giant shadows. Then they heard voices. The voices said, beautiful things, promises. Reed's voice was quiet. It was controlling them? Yes, she whispered. One by one they changed. Some went crazy, others disappeared, and some just stood still, smiling, until something inside them replaced them. The team was silent. The only sound was the low hum of failing systems. Theo, the medic, asked, Did you try to fight it? Kara's face hardened. We tried. We used everything, fire, bullets, lasers. But it never died. We couldn't even see its true form. It was like a ghost, jumping from mind to mind. You'd talk to someone in the morning, and by night, they weren't human anymore. Nova looked around nervously. How did you survive? Kara looked down. I locked myself in the cryo chamber. Before that, I made the ship's AI trap the alien in the lower decks. I used the emergency doors. Then I turned off the power and went to sleep. I hoped someone would find me after it was gone. Reed stood and walked to the console. The AI, can we talk to it? Kara shook her head. The AI was damaged during the final lockdown. I don't know if it still works. Reed pressed a few buttons on the console. Static. No response. Nova whispered, Captain, what if the AI failed long ago? What if the thing has been free this whole time? That thought made everyone fall silent again. Kara stood slowly. If it's free, then it's inside one of us. Reed turned to her sharply. Are you saying we might be infected? I don't know, Kara said. But it hides inside your mind. It waits. It feeds on fear. If any of you felt something strange, voices, cold air, sudden anger, then, yes, it might already be inside. Theo stepped back, fear growing in his eyes. This can't be real. Suddenly, the floor shook. Bang. A door far down the hallway slammed open. The lights went out again. In the dark, the team heard a whisper. I see you. Reed shouted, Weapons ready, stay sharp. Kara grabbed a flashlight and pointed it toward the sound. There was nothing. But then a figure appeared. It walked slowly, stiff, silent. It was one of the security officers who came with the team. But something was wrong. His eyes were all black. No whites. No soul. Kyle? Nova called out. He didn't answer, he just smiled. Then he ran at them. Reed fired. The body dropped, but when they got close, it started moving again. Kara yelled, "It's not him! Shoot the head!" Nova aimed and fired at the head. The figure finally stopped moving. Breathing hard, Reed turned to Kara. "That wasn't your crew. That was ours. That means it got someone. After we came here." Kara nodded grimly. "It used my message to bring you here. It needed new minds." Reed looked toward the exit. "We have to stop this. Before it reaches Earth." Kara's voice was cold now. "We're not leaving. Not until it's dead." The dead silence on the Valkyrie was now broken by alarms. Red lights flashed across the walls. Captain Reed Carter, Kara Miles, and the remaining team stood in shock. One of their own, Officer Kyle, was dead, or worse, taken. "He was fine just an hour ago," said Nova James, her voice shaking. "How did it take him without us knowing?" Kara held her weapon tightly. "That's what it does. It waits. It listens. It hides in the dark corners of your mind. You don't even know it's there. Until it's too late." Medic Theo looked pale. "So anyone here could be next?" Kara nodded. "Yes. Even now it could be inside one of us, growing stronger, waiting for the perfect moment." Reed looked around at his small team. 4 people left now. "We can't trust anyone, but we also can't panic." "Too late for that," Theo muttered. Suddenly the ship's floor vibrated. A deep rumble echoed from below. "What now?" Nova asked. A voice came from the ship's broken speakers. It was soft, slow, not human. "The gate is open. The minds are awake. I am many." Kara turned toward the sound. "It's not just talking. It's remembering. It's learning again." Reed frowned. "What do you mean?" Kara looked toward the ceiling. "When I trapped it, it forgot some of what it had taken. The memories faded while it slept. But now that it has fresh minds, yours, it's getting smarter." Reed walked to the central console. "Is there any way to kill it?" "There might be," Kara answered. "There's a failsafe in the engineering deck, a plasma core overload. It can destroy the entire ship. That's what I was planning before I froze myself." Nova's eyes widened. "You were going to destroy the Valkyrie?" Kara nodded. "It's the only way. If we don't and this thing finds a way to Earth, millions will die. Maybe more." Theo backed away. Wait. You're talking about blowing up the ship while we're still on it?" "I'm talking about saving the galaxy," Kara said sharply. Reed stayed calm. "All right. We go to the engineering deck, set the overload. Then we escape before it blows." Kara looked at him. "There's one problem. The thing knows what we're planning. It will try to stop us." Reed looked back at her, determined. "Then we stop it first." The team moved carefully through the lower levels of the ship. Walls looked older here, damaged, burned. Symbols were scratched into the metal, not human symbols, circles, spirals, eyes. Theo whispered, "Did your crew draw these?" Kara replied, "No, the infected did, just before they changed." As they walked, the air grew colder. The lights flickered. Suddenly, a voice spoke from behind them, Kyle's voice. "Hey guys, wait for me." The team turned. Kyle was standing in the hallway again, smiling. But his body was broken. His neck was bent at the wrong angle. His eyes were black. "You left me behind," he said in a soft, broken voice. "That wasn't very nice." Reed raised his weapon. "Back off." Kyle, or whatever was wearing, his body laughed. "You think you can stop me? I've lived 1,000 lives. I've worn 1,000 faces." The figure moved closer. Reed fired. The bullets hit, but it didn't fall. Kara shouted, "It's not real. It's trying to scare us." Reed switched to his energy rifle and blasted the creature. This time it screamed, a horrible, high sound, and melted into black smoke. Theo stared at it, horrified. "What the hell was that?" Kara answered. "A puppet. It creates them from memory and fear, but it's still weak. That means we still have time." They reached the engineering deck. The plasma core glowed in the center, a swirling blue energy ball held by thick metal arms. Nova moved to the control panel. It's still working. I can start the overload countdown. Kara placed her hand on the panel. Let me. This was my crew. My mistake. She started typing in codes. The countdown began. 10 minutes. Reed checked his wristcom. Get ready to run back to the Athena. Suddenly, the ship's lights turned dark red. The air grew heavy, and then a voice whispered from all around them. I remember now. I remember being human. Kara looked around, panicked. It's here, in the core room. Black mist began to pour from the walls. It formed a shape, tall, shadow-like, with glowing white eyes. It looked almost human, but wrong. Twisted. Nova fired. The bullets passed through it. Theo screamed. The mist touched his shoulder. He fell to his knees, shaking. Kara pulled him back. Don't let it touch you. Reed ran to the control panel. We have to hold it off for 10 minutes, the creature growled. You will not leave. You are mine now. Reed stared into its eyes and said, You want fear? Then here's some truth. Humans don't give up. We fight until the end. The countdown on the screen kept blinking. 7 minutes, 24 seconds. Captain Reed Carter gritted his teeth and fired again. But the bullets passed through the dark creature, like it was made of smoke. The monster was growing larger, its shape shifting and twisting. It now had faces inside its body, hundreds of faces all screaming silently. Kara Miles shouted, You can't kill it with weapons. It's not made of flesh. It's made of thoughts, of pain and memory. Nova James grabbed a plasma grenade from her belt. Then maybe we burn its memory. She threw the grenade. Boom! The blast hit the mist and pushed it back. The creature screamed, its voice like broken glass. Theo, weak from the creature's touch, lay on the ground. Don't let it touch the core, he whispered. If it takes the ship's power, if it becomes energy, we're all finished. Kara dragged him behind the engine room's cover. Stay down, you did enough. Reed fired again to keep the thing distracted. Nova, Kara, is there any way to speed up the countdown? Kara checked the console. I can drop it to 5 minutes, but we'll lose the auto-escape option. That means someone has to stay behind, to keep the override stable. Nova turned to her. You're saying one of us has to die? Kara didn't answer. Her silence was enough. Reed growled. We'll figure something out. No one dies unless it's the only way. The creature spoke again. You are weak, divided. I was born from your fear. I grow from your failure. It rushed forward, fast and silent. Nova screamed, Down! The team scattered. The creature hit the wall, melting metal like it was wax. Kara looked up at the screen. 5 minutes. She turned to Reed. I'll do it. This is my ship, my mistake. I should finish this. Reed shook his head. No, you've suffered enough. Let me. Theo groaned. You're both wrong. I'm already half dead. Let me be useful. No. One's dying, Reed shouted. That's an order. The creature moved again. This time it tried to go around them toward the core's fusion field. Nova cursed. It's trying to absorb the energy. If it does, it'll become unstoppable. Kara ran to the controls. We can't let that happen. She activated the containment shield, blocking the creature for now. The energy field sparked and hissed as the creature slammed into it over and over. Bang, bang, bang. Nova held Theo up. We have to go. The way back is still open. Reed checked his comm. Athena is still online. We have 5 minutes to escape. But Kara didn't move. She looked at the controls, then at her friends. I'm staying. Reed turned. No, we can... Kara raised her hand. Listen, this thing, it used me. It used my voice, my ship. It's inside my memories. If I stay, I can trap it one last time. I can keep the system locked until the end. Nova stepped forward. There has to be another way. Kara smiled sadly. Some fights aren't about winning. Some are about making sure the monster never leaves the dark. Reed stared at her. You sure? She nodded. Tell Earth. Kara Miles fought until the end. Reed slowly reached out and shook her hand. You're a hero. No, she whispered. I'm human. Reed, Nova, and Theo ran back through the burning corridors. Alarms screamed. Pipes burst. The Valkyrie was dying. They reached the hangar. The shuttle door opened. Get in, Reed yelled. Theo was helped inside. Nova looked back one last time. She saw Kara at the control deck standing tall, staring into the black smoke pressing against the shield. Inside the core chamber, the creature spoke. You give yourself for nothing. Kara looked into its glowing eyes. No, I give myself for everything. Minute. The creature lunged. Kara locked the final control. The shield collapsed, but the timer reached 0. From the shuttle, far away, Reed watched the Valkyrie explode, a blue and white fireball. Lit up space. The soundless shockwave passed by the shuttle windows. The energy rippled for miles, Nova whispered. She did it. Theo closed his eyes. She saved us all. Reed didn't speak. He just stared at the stars. Far in the distance, Earth waited. But so did something else from deep space, unseen and ancient. Another signal began to pulse. Faint, dark, familiar. The shuttle drifted silently through space. Inside, Captain Reed Carter, Nova James, and Medic Theo stared out at the stars. The bright explosion of the Valkyrie was now just a distant memory. We lost so much, Nova whispered. Kara saved us. But at what cost? Reed said nothing. He was thinking about Earth, about what might come next. Suddenly, the shuttle's sensors beeped. Captain, something's coming, Theo said, pointing at the screen. Reed leaned forward. The screen showed a strange signal. It was faint but steady, coming from deep space beyond the known galaxy. Nova's eyes widened. It looks like the first signal Kara's ship found, but stronger. Reed frowned. Could it be the same creature? We don't know, Nova said. But if it is, then it's still out there, and it's sending a message. Theo looked worried. Why would it send a message? Kara's words echoed in Reed's mind. It remembers. It learns. Reed pressed a button. Try to decode it. Nova worked quickly. The signal was like nothing she had seen before. It wasn't just a message. It was a pattern, a puzzle. After a few minutes, she gasped. It's music, like Kara said. But this time, it's different. It sounds almost like a warning. Reed's heart beat faster. A warning? From who? Nova shook her head. Maybe from the creature itself. Or maybe from something else. Theo spoke softly. What if there's more like it? More nightmares, waiting in the dark? The shuttle suddenly jolted. Report, Reed ordered. The engines are failing, Nova said. We're losing power. Reed gritted his teeth. Prepare for emergency landing. The shuttle entered a strange solar system. A large dead planet was below them. Its surface was cracked and burned like a battlefield from long ago. Where are we? Theo asked. Reed answered. I don't know. But this planet looks like it's been through a war. Nova studied the scans. No signs of life. But something's hidden beneath the surface, a structure, artificial. Old. Reed nodded. We have to check it out. Maybe this is connected to the signal. They landed on the scorched surface. The air was thin and cold. The sky was dark with clouds of ash. Nova activated her flashlight. Stay close. The team walked toward the entrance of the strange structure, a massive door covered in the same alien symbols Kara's ship had. Reed touched the symbols. Suddenly, the door creaked open, revealing a dark corridor. Inside, strange machines hummed softly. The walls were lined with screens showing stars, planets, and unknown creatures. Theo whispered, This looks like a command center. But for what? Nova moved forward. Look at this. She pointed at a screen showing a star system under attack. A battle between giant ships and strange shadows. Reed's face hardened. This isn't just about Kara's ship. This is a war. A war we never knew about. Suddenly, the corridor lights flickered. From the shadows, a figure stepped forward. A tall alien with glowing eyes. "I am Varric," it said, voice calm but strong. "Guardian of the Lost Galaxy. You are not welcome here." Reed raised his hands. "We mean no harm. We want to know about the signal. About the creature." Varric looked at them carefully. "The creature you fought is a fragment of a dark force we have battled for centuries. It spreads fear and destruction. It was sealed away. But your Valkyrie opened its prison." Nova asked, "Is there a way to stop it for good?" Varric nodded slowly. "There is, but it requires a sacrifice greater than you know. And it will not end easily." Reed swallowed hard. "Tell us what we must do." The alien began to explain an ancient plan, one that could save the galaxy, or destroy it forever. The alien, Varric, stood tall in the dim light of the ancient command center. His glowing eyes looked deep into the souls of Reed, Nova, and Theo. "The darkness you fought," Varric began, "is part of a greater evil called the Void Wraith. It feeds on fear, pain, and death. It was once sealed inside the Prism of Eternity, a powerful ancient artifact." Reed frowned. "Where is this artifact?" "Lost," Varric said quietly. "Long ago, the prism shattered into 7 pieces, scattered across the galaxy. Without it, the Void Wraith can grow stronger and destroy entire worlds." Nova's eyes widened. "So we have to find those pieces?" "Yes," Varric said. "Only by reuniting the prism can the Wraith be trapped, forever. But beware, the pieces are guarded by dangers, both living and dead." Theo swallowed nervously. "How do we start?" Varric handed Reed a small, glowing crystal. "This is the star shard. It will guide you to the first piece. But time is short. The Wraith's power is spreading." Reed nodded. "We'll find the pieces. We'll stop it," Varric warned. "You must also be ready to face the truth. Not all who help you are your friends. The Void Wraith corrupts even the strongest minds." Nova looked at Reed. "We can't trust anyone." Reed clenched his fists. "We trust each other." Back on the shuttle, the team prepared for their new mission. The star shard glowed softly, lighting the dark cabin. Reed studied the star maps. "The first piece is on a planet called Jarkal. It's a desert world filled with ancient ruins and deadly storms." Nova loaded weapons. "Sounds like fun." Theo checked the medical supplies. "Let's just hope the storms don't kill us first." As the shuttle jumped into hyperspace, Reed thought about Kara. She had sacrificed everything. Now, it was their turn to fight. After hours of travel, the shuttle emerged near Jarkal. The planet was a vast desert with red sands and huge rock formations. The shuttle landed near a ruined city buried under the sand. Reed looked at the ruins. The prism piece must be here. Nova scanned the area. "I'm picking up strange energy readings beneath the city." Theo shivered. "Let's hope it's not a trap." They moved through the ruins, careful and quiet. The air was hot and dry, and the sun burned their skin. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed from the canyon. "Something's coming," Nova shouted. From the shadows, giant sand creatures appeared, massive beasts made of rock and dust, their eyes glowing red. Reed raised his rifle. "Get ready!" The creatures charged. The team fought fiercely. Bullets and plasma bolts flew, but the creatures were strong and fast. Nova ducked behind a pillar. "These things don't die easy." Theo threw a grenade, blasting one creature apart. "Take that." Reed fired at another, aiming for its glowing eyes. After a long battle, the creatures retreated back into the desert. Breathing hard, Reed said, "We're close. Let's keep moving." Deeper in the ruins, they found a hidden temple. The entrance was guarded by ancient carvings showing a shining prism. Nova stepped inside carefully. In the center, on a pedestal, lay a glowing crystal, the first piece of the prism of eternity. Reed approached it slowly. This is it. Suddenly the ground shook. From the shadows stepped a figure, an armored warrior with glowing eyes. I am the guardian of the prism, the figure said. Only those worthy may take this piece. Reed stepped forward. We seek to stop the Void Wraith. We need this piece to save the galaxy. The guardian's eyes glowed brighter. Then prove your worth. A test began. Reed and his team had to solve ancient puzzles and fight illusions designed to break their minds. Nova's sharp eyes caught details Reed missed. Theo's steady hands fixed broken mechanisms. Reed's courage held them together. At the final challenge, Reed faced a vision of Kara, her voice echoing in his mind. Don't give up. Humanity fights until the end. With new strength, Reed solved the last puzzle. The Guardian stepped aside. You have proven yourself. Take the prism piece. Reed took the glowing crystal carefully. The temple brightened. Back outside, the desert winds calmed. The star shard in Reed's hand pulsed stronger. We have the first piece, Reed said. But this is only the beginning. Nova smiled. More storms ahead. Theo laughed weakly. Bring them on. The shuttle raced through space, carrying Reed, Nova, and Theo toward their final destination, the heart of the Void Wraith's power. The star shard pulsed with urgency. The remaining 6 pieces of the Prism of Eternity were close, but so was the darkness. Reed looked at his team. This is it. We end this tonight. Nova checked her weapons. I hope so, because whatever waits for us, it won't be nice. Theo nodded. We carry Kara's sacrifice with us. We fight for her, and for everyone. They arrived at a dead, twisted planet. The skies were black, swirling with storms. The air crackled with dark energy. This was the Wraith's domain. As they landed, shadows moved. The ground pulsed with a terrible life. Suddenly, the Void Wraith appeared, an enormous shifting mass of smoke and glowing eyes, bigger and stronger than ever. I have waited, it hissed. You cannot stop me. Reed stood firm. We're not afraid. Nova fired. The blast barely scratched the creature. Theo held the star shard high. The prism will bind you. The Wraith laughed, a sound like metal tearing. The battle began. Reed and Nova dodged and fired, trying to keep the creature distracted. Theo worked on the ancient device that could combine the prism pieces. The Wraith lashed out with tendrils of dark energy, knocking Reed back. Keep moving, Reed yelled. He fired again and again, aiming for the glowing core. Nova shouted, Theo, how much longer? Almost there, Theo replied, sweat on his brow. The Wraith grabbed Nova, pulling her into darkness. No, Reed screamed and charged. Nova struggled, but the darkness was strong. Reed fired a plasma bolt, breaking the Wraith's grip. Nova fell, gasping. Theo finished activating the device. Now, he shouted. Reed and Nova rushed to place the 7 prism pieces into the device. The star shard glowed bright. Light shot out, cutting through the dark storms. The Wraith screamed, writhing in pain. No, it roared. I am eternal. The light grew stronger, wrapping the creature in chains of energy. Slowly, the Wraith shrank, becoming smaller and smaller, until it was trapped inside a crystal, just like Kara's sacrifice. The storms faded. The skies cleared. Reed looked at the crystal. It's over. Nova smiled weakly. We did it. Theo sighed. But at a cost. Reed nodded. Kara is gone, but her fight saved us all. Back on their shuttle, they set course for Earth Imaz. They watched the stars. Reed spoke softly. The galaxy is safe. For now. Nova smiled. Humanity fights until the end. We never give up. Theo looked out the window. And we never will. The last survivor had unleashed a nightmare, but humanity's courage had stopped it.